Students of Kent State come up on another year of reminiscing the May 4th memorial. This year, a new exhibit was featured depicting the May 4th events through comics. Allison Kaplan, director of the May 4th Visitor Center, decided to give us the inside scoop on this year's exhibit.
My name is Allison Kaplan. I'm director of the May 4th Visitor Center. The exhibition on view here right now is called Graphic Content Comics in May 4. It features 3 different artists of 3 different generations. The first artist in the exhibition is Chuck Ayers. So Chuck Ayers was here on campus in 1970. He worked part-time at the Akron Beacon Journal. So he had a unique experience of working at a student newspaper and also working at a big city paper. He went out and took photographs of the events of May 4, and he also depicted those through illustration. So he was often working out his feelings about experiencing the tragedy of the events of May 4 through his cartoons.
Although Chuck Ayers helped illustrate the events on May 4th, Allison notes a lot of the inspiration was taken from a novelist.
During COVID, Dirk, who was a graphic novelist, published a book called Kent State, Poor Dead in Ohio that won an Eisner Award. So we wanted to feature original artwork from that process and pair it with some of his research that he did on campus through the May 4 archive over at Kent State University Library Special Collections. Dirk Bachter's graphic novel is really all about research. It is even full of footnotes in the back that tells you all of the stories and connections to why he drew something a certain way, why he depicted a student or used a certain nickname for a student.
Unlike the first two, the third and final artist, Catherine Rearick, is telling her story through the eyes of someone else.
Catherine Rearick, her dad was here on campus during May 4. So her experience is really about telling her dad's story, but also processing grief. Her dad survived the May 4 shootings. He didn't end up going down to the protest, but he ended up joining the Army. And while he was in the Army, he was handling chemicals. So he ended up getting cancer while she told this story. And as you can see behind me, she combines the events of May 4 with her dad's experience and her childhood and understanding her grief around her dad's illness, but also understanding like the grief and anger around the events of May 4. So it's really 3 different takes, using comics or graphic art as a vehicle to illustrate that story. I think the events of May 4 are so connected to what is going on in the world today. It's important for students to learn the story of what happened here on Kent's campus on May 4, but it's also important for students to share their own stories and their own experiences. I encourage students to come out and get involved and engage. Your voice is needed here. We want you to be engaged in planning these commemorations, not just attending these commemorations. We want it to be relevant to you, and we want to hear your voices. So come this year, track me down, find me, and let's get you participating.
Graphic content Comics of May 4th is able to be viewed in the May 4th Memorial Building on Kent's campus. The Reflections Gallery is able to be viewed upon walk-in. As May approaches, it is important to remember and reflect. Please join us in silence for the victims of the May 4th shooting.